Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dany Nativel. I work for SiFive, and today I'd like to give you a quick introduction on how WorldGuard can help securing our vector processors. WorldGuard is not just an alternative to the ARM Trust Zone. It's a better alternative to it because instead of offering a way to secure your assets in a trusted and untrusted world, we offer the capability to have an unlimited number of domains you can put your assets in order to protect different things like DRMs or firmware, for example. SiFive WorldGuard is an open specification where we have been sharing that with the RISC-V Foundation, and we are actually encouraging other RISC-V members to embrace this specification in order to make RISC-V more secure. Our current customers are massively adopting this new technology because it really truly helps to provide the proper hardware isolation. It goes from embedded devices where people want to isolate a single RTOS or multiple RTOSes on a small devices, as well to automotive grade high performance application processors where some people want to run concurrent DRM schemes, for example. WorldGuard is a very simple way to add protection to memories and peripherals. It works by simply adding a tag, or what we call world ID, to all the transactions that are issued by a CPU core. And we associate that world ID and we tag it into the cache, and we propagate that world ID down to the different caches, the interconnect, and at the destination, we do a proper filtering based upon an access control list that will provide also additional benefits by checking for additional attributes such as read-only or read-write, for example. This allows a processor like the X280 that can run AI ML stacks to truly separate some of the key and essential stacks you might be running in your system, because you can put them into a different world here, and you can make sure that your third-party partner or people you're opening the platform to won't be able to compromise or to extract your super secret AI ML stack. This also, with WorldGuard, we also enable the way to provide a secure debug solution where you can in fact selectively allow people to debug and trace a particular domain. So you can prevent your third-party partner, for example, to access and to do debug operation to your AI ML stack. WorldGuard is an add-on to the existing RISC-V core. It doesn't modify or break the RISC-V ISA. So we are adding those gadgets called markers and checkers both on the busmaster side and as well on the destination. So it's very easy to convert an existing design to WorldGuard by adding those markers. And today I'm very pleased to report that WorldGuard is no longer slideware or concept. WorldGuard is live today. WorldGuard is shipping production grade ready with our new and newly announced X280 vector core. It comes with a fully enabled core complex, CPU core complex, as well as the gadgets that are required to operate WorldGuard, such as the WorldGuard marker and checkers that are found outside on the AXI bus. The way WorldGuard works inside the CPU has been tuned over the past few months in order to make things more flexible for the end customer. The idea is to make sure that nothing can compromise the operation of the CPU by having a rogue software modifying the world ID of a given core. Make sure that nothing can happen even if the firmware goes back into some adds bad behavior into machine mode, for example. So what we do is we provide 2 additional ports on each CPU tile where the customer can provide, first of all, the world ID that are allowed on this particular CPU tile. That means in this particular case here, we say this CPU tile can only do world ID 1 to 5. that means it will never ever be able to pretend to be under the domain ID number 6, for example. In addition to that, a customer can also hardcode the world ID that will be attached to all the transactions issued in machine mode. That means this is hard-coded, so every time the CPU is running in machine mode, it will get this world ID 1 in this example, and the firmware won't be able to tamper with that. When running in supervisor mode, the machine mode obviously can change the world ID or the supervisor mode by using one of the variable value in the world ID list. Again, it's limited to this particular list. And for the user mode, we have a two-way of operations, actually. We can either let the machine mode to change the world ID of the user mode, but we can also delegate the access to the change of the world ID to the supervisor mode by defining a sublist of authorized world ID for the supervisor mode. In that case here, the machine mode indicates to the supervisor mode, hey, you have the right to use and pick and choose any number from 4 to 5 in that given list. In that case, the authors, for example, can freely pick and choose any value in that sublist to assign to a process or task that is running on this core, and that will automatically add the proper world ID to the cache line that will be propagated to the interconnect and checked at the destination. So adding WorldGuard to your system should be easy, and SiFive is making it easy by providing a pre-configured WorldGuard-enabled core complex. That means this core complex comes ready with all the WorldGuard gadgets inside, including the caches, the proper CSR, including the debug limiters and trace limiters. It also includes all the checkers and masters on the different peripherals inside the core complex. So if you have, like for example, a crypto engine, or if you have a debug engine running inside, it can be protected by WorldGuard automatically. We also provide the proper WorldGuard mappers outside. For example, on the AXI front ports, we can convert from the AXI user bit that carry the world ID down to the tie-link user field that will also carry the world ID. And we do the exact same thing on the way out, on the outbound ports, by converting tie-link user field to world ID user field found in the AXI on the system port, memory port, system port, and peripheral port. In addition to that, we have, as we saw before, we have those new ports on the tile where we can define, we can hard-code the machine mode world ID. We can hard-code the list of world ID that are available for that particular tile, and we can also define the world that can be debugged or for which the trace can be used. We do the same now on the outside the core complex by providing also gadgets that are AXI based, are very simple gadgets where, in that case, you will have the capability to tag and add a world ID to any random busmaster you might have on your system that is using AXI. So the busmaster is connecting to this marker through a slave interface, and then we connect to the AXI interconnect. We have a specific control port to actually configure this marker and to define the world ID that will be added to the transaction. There is a security limitation, obviously, to prevent anyone to override, to redefine the world ID. So only a trusted world ID, which is a specific world ID in the system, can actually access this control port and define the world ID that will be added to the transaction from this given master. On the slave side, on the checker side, we do exactly the same the other way. Here we connect to an AXI bus over a slave interface, and we do have the peripherals memory connecting to the AXI. We do have the same similar control port that is also protected by a special trusted world ID. And inside the checker, we have a number of slots that can be seen and used similarly to what you find on the RISC-V PMP, for example. So we have a number of memory slots where you define memory start address and the length and the attributes like read or read-write attributes. The main difference here is that on the WorldGuard checker, and compared to the PMP found inside the core, we have many more memory slots. We have up to 32 slots. So that gives you, a strong flexibility to define multiple memory configuration where you share memory between different worlds, or you can have exclusive access to a memory slot for one particular world. So SiFive is introducing in August the X280 reference platform. This is a great milestone for not only for SiFive but also for our customers and our partner, because we will have this very specific platform that has not only the core but also many peripherals outside the core, such as a proper NOC, a DDR controller, and other things. It also comes with WorldGuard built in, so we have actually added the gadgets outside the core complex to protect the Ethernet, for example, but also the different peripherals. So our customer will have an easy way to exercise WorldGuard. Our partners will have an easy way to actually put in place TEE or REE environments on this reference platform by utilizing the existing hardware that is available here. So WorldGuard has been deployed today on the X280 as part of Refresh on this brand new vector core. We actually, of course, retrofitting all our cores with WorldGuard, including the Essential series. It will be part of the P550, P650, and our next-gen out-of-order high-performance vector core. We're also working on a lot of additional security features, because security doesn't stop at WorldGuard. There are many more things to add for better security on RISC-V, such as pointer authentication, memory tagging, CFI, and many other things that SiFive is actually working on. That's it for me. If you have any question, I'll be around by the booth, and I'll be pleased to answer any question you might have. Thanks a lot for your attention.